Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, California is a leader in climate mitigation. And though we must continue these efforts, it's critical that we act now to efficiently plan and prepare for those climate change impacts which are unavoidable. We do this in order to protect the lives and livelihoods of Californians. SB 246 addresses lack of a comprehensive approach to climate adaptation among local, regional, and state entities, and it creates a central hub for information and tools to help stakeholders avoid duplication of efforts. This bill is informed by concerns highlighted in multiple hearings on climate adaptation that were held this year by the Senate Environmental Quality Committee. Specifically, the bill establishes the Integrated Climate Adaptation and Resiliency Program within the Office of Planning and Research to coordinate regional and local adaptation planning with state policies. The author and OPR are committed to working towards the best way to ensure both operational efficiency and an open public process as the Strategic Growth Council agencies coordinate efforts to achieve the state's sustainability and adaptation goals. Should additional changes be needed in the future, the author and OPR will continue to work towards this end. Crafted in coordination with agencies in the administration, this bill will provide a strong framework to enhance our state's adaptation efforts. SB 246 is supported by the Little Hoover Commission, the Local Government Commission, and numerous environmental and public health organizations. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. 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 The clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 42, noes 17. The measure passes. So, colleagues, at this time we're going to pass temporarily file item 100. We're going to pass and retain file item 101. We're passing temporarily file item 102. We're going to pass and retain file item 103. Pass and retain file item 104. Sending to the inactive file item 105. And we're now going to go to file item 106, SB 300. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 300 by Senator Mendoza and Aquilate the Pawnbrokers.
Mr. Wilk, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. SB 300 by Senator Mendoza allows California-based pawnbrokers to conduct electronic transactions. Under current law, once a pawn loan is established, a pawnbroker must conduct all subsequent communications either in person or via paper mail. SB 300 puts an end to this antiquated requirement, which increases the likelihood that consumers will receive the appropriate notifications that their pledged property is about to be forfeited. SB 300 has passed the Senate and Assembly Policy and Fiscal Committees with unanimous support. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tie the votes. Ayes 60, no 0. Measure passes. If I could ask colleagues who are not in the chamber, if you could please make your way to the chamber. We have many items that are on call and for which there are past temporalities because we don't have items to present yet, but we're going to go through the items that we've passed temporarily just to see if floor jockeys are ready to go. File item 55. We're going to pass temporarily. File item 81. Is not yet ready to take it up. File item 87. And 88, 89. If I could again say, for all the items that we have passed temporarily, we're waiting for floor jockeys to get back to the floor. Ask floor jockeys to please do that. For file item 55, we're going to pass and retain. At this time, we're going to go to file item 100 for purposes of amendments, SB 794. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 794 with amendments by Assemblymember Chu.
Mr. Kansen Chu, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker and member, I rise to present non-technical amendment for SB 794 by the Senate Committee on Human Services. The bill amends state law to address compliance with the federal Preventing Sex Trafficking and Strengthening Family Act. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, without objection, we can take a voice vote on these amendments. All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. The amendments are adopted. The bill is out to print and back on file.
Sir.
Colleagues, we're going to take up one item at this time. It's file item 81, SB 7. The clerk will read.
Senate Bill 7 by Senator Walker and others, and Aqua Lane Housing.
Mr. Williams, you may present.
Mr. Speaker, members, this bill, Senate Bill 7, will require the installation of water meters or submeters on individual dwelling units in newly constructed multi-unit buildings, like apartment buildings, as a requirement for a new water service to that property. Importantly, this is new construction. Currently, there's no requirement in state law that individual dwelling units have individual waters or submeters. And of course, members, in a drought, this is a very important matter. There should be an incentive for conservation, and without meters or submeters, that's impossible to track. This bill will provide the tenant with an accurate account of how much water they consume and the basis for their water costs. Studies have shown that the uses of submeters are associated with decreased water usage. This will assist renters and property owners to lower their water bills by reducing unnecessary water use. It also allows for faster identification of leaks and resolution of water losses. How would you know that you're using too much water from a leak unless you ever see how much water you're actually using? It has consumer protections, which addresses the maintenance of submeters, billing for water service by property owners or third-party billers, and notice and disclosure to tenants. This bill will not require existing buildings to install submeters for dwelling units and will allow landlords to recover the costs for billing tenants for water services. Members, I want to repeat that. This is for new construction only. This does not require the retrofit of older buildings. If we can't, in this age of water instability, at least track this in new buildings, I would question our willingness to be able to be meaningful about tackling the drought in multifamily dwellings. I ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. 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 Mr. Williams, what's your pleasure? Move the call. The item has been moved. Colleagues, at this time we're going to a temporary recess, and without objection during the recess, the following committees are going to meet. The Judiciary Committee will meet in the Rules Committee room. The Labor and Employment Committee will meet in room 437. The Local Government Committee will meet in room 447. For the second extraordinary session, the Finance Committee will meet in room 444. and the Public Health and Developmental Services Committee will meet in room 4202. So at this time, this House will stand in recess for 1 hour until 3:45. We now stand in brief recess.